governor for the president. So it's not just being a regular minister. He says he commissioned roads. Yes, those roads were started by Mohammed Bello, and I commend him for finishing some of them. But also, just like the people took me on when those roads were commissioned, they said, Madam, you people are celebrating roads in Maitama, Asokoro, and Central Business District. The bulk of the people do not live there. Show me the projects where the people live. That's the difference. It's almost like a governor telling you that he built some roads, so he doesn't care what the needs of the people are. They have needs. So it's not good enough. The people are not impressed. I commend him because I see that some things are done. But at the end of the day, they don't have water. That fire that happened in Karu could have been prevented if there was water. But I don't know if you know Abuja. Any fire truck has to go all the way to Atokoro to get water, spray the fire, then come back. Not to talk about the fact that there were no access roads into the market and a whole litany of issues. Who do you think is going to sort out those issues? The minister. But the people are going to tell the senator, not the minister. The same way, insecurity. The people scream, senator, senator, senator. Senator says, minister, sort out insecurity. Says he does not have to speak to me, so I spoke to him on channels. Just like a lot of the issues that I'm going to bring up today, he'll hear from our...
Ladies and gentlemen, Right Honorable Speaker, let me, on behalf of the FCT, especially thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to again be part of this epoch-making ceremony by flagging off the ceremony that will take off the Mabuchi bus to taxi terminal. You are supposed to be in Kaduna today, but because of the love you have for FCT, because of the support and commitment you have for the Renewed Hope agenda under the leadership of His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Amebola Tinubu, you try to put away that program and to be here today. I want to sincerely thank you. You have always shown us love, even in terms of our budgetary allocations and budgetary defense. I thank you most sincerely and their colleagues in the Senate. It has never been that easy, but since we came, everything has been moving so well for us. I want to sincerely again thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, what is important for us here today is for you and I to ask ourselves a simple question. This is supposed to be one of the best cities in the world. This is supposed to be a first-class city. But how can it be a first-class city? How can it be one of the best cities in the world when those infrastructures that make a city to a first class are not available? It will be difficult. Yes, you have a dream to be a first-class city. Yes, you have a dream to be one of the best cities in the world. But those dreams cannot be actualized if these things are not present. A city like Abuja does not have bus and taxi terminals. You see people on the road, taxis all over the place, and that, of course, is part of our insecurity problems. Some people talk about one chance. Why would there not be one chance when you don't even know the man you are entering his box or the taxi? And so, under the Renewed Hope agenda, and in order to reduce the level of insecurity, we made a proposal and we came before the National Assembly to say, look, part of the problems we are having is because we have not been able to know who are these people who are applying these taxis and buses, and where do they load from? What gives comfort to our people, like the contractor planning projects have said? And so we decided that we must start with 3 bus taxi terminals in the FCT. One in the central business area, one in Mabuchi, and one in Kubo. Unfortunately, we are supposed to have started with central business area, but what was the problem? The same thing we are talking about, distortion of Abuja master plan, where we are supposed to have the central business area, which was earmarked as a bus terminal, where even the trains will pass through. The land has been allocated out, CFO given out. And so when we went there to start this flag off, that was last week Tuesday, after the Executive Council meeting, I had a text that I have taken somebody's land. And I was surprised. And so when I inquired, the Transport Secretariat had gone there to start moving at everybody so that we can have this flag off. And behold, we tried to find out that the place has been given out, CFO has been signed, even consent judgment has been entered between FCT and I said, look, what do we do? The point I'm trying to make is that, you see, leadership is all about being able to take decisions. And in taking decisions, everybody will not be happy. But what is important is that decision has been taken. In fact, if you read our text, the person said, look, after his sacrifices and his input in the party, this is what he will suffer. So it's okay. Leave the central business area. Let's come here and start with this before we resolve that problem. But just to let you know that these are the things we face. How the master plans of FCT have been distorted. And when you want to take a decision, so many people will be angry. And when they are complaining, they won't come with sincere facts. They will come with distorted facts without letting you know that, look, this is supposed to be how the master plan has dictated it. Let me say clearly that one of the things we do understand about the New Hope agenda is not just about just human capital development, also has to do with empowerment of our people. So many of our people have lost the hope that they don't get contracts. Everything that comes goes to foreign firms. But under this government, under the New Hope agenda of Mr. President, you say you must encourage our local people who have the capacity to also deliver. And that is why when we saw the works of what they call the planet what? Planet projects. We saw what he did in Ibadan. We saw what he did in Lagos. Those are the two I saw. All this one is talking about Kogi address. I'm not aware of that one. But I will talk the one I know so that I don't want to go and tomorrow you call me, come and show you the one you say. But the one of Oyo and Lagos, I can say so. And so it's okay. But the burden is on him now to prove, indeed, to reciprocate the good gesture of Mr. President of bringing back hope to our local contractors. You know, another thing you can find out, and I want to say to him, when you give our local contractors job, the first thing they do is to look at the profit instead of doing the job first. The first thing to look at that, how he's going to compete to have more wives instead of doing the job. As a governor, as a former minister, these are things I have found out. But the unfortunate thing is that nobody takes our money and go free. If you take our money, you must do the job. So you must thank Mr. President for bringing back the hope that we have confidence in our local contractors. It's very, very key. And I believe this is part of the second year anniversary of Mr. President in May 2025. The funds are available, so it's not a question of where are you sure money will be released. We have given you according to law, according to procurement law, and this project, I will not allow just the mandate secretary. I will be personally involved from time to time to come and monitor and supervise this project. It's very, very key for us. I overheard somebody in our eyes this morning. Unfortunately, I hear the person is a member of National Assembly. It's unfortunate I say so. With all due respect, what you don't know, you don't know. What you know, you know. And the good thing for you is to tell people that, look, I don't know this. And people will educate you. The Honorable Minister of State and my humble self, we have not been in office for more than 10 months, 11 months. And to the glory of God, the person is angry that they are praising us. If you don't want, go and hang yourself in a transformer. Yes. If you're angry, go and hang yourself. If we have done well, we have done well. If we have not done well, we have not done well. And we are proud to say, in this short time Mr. President appointed us, that we have done well. He said there are no schools. He said there are no hospitals. You as a legislator, what have you done? How many bills have you sponsored for us to improve our education and our health sector? How many? I challenge that legislator, if you are very, very popular, 2027, come and run under Abuja. We will fail you. You think that what happened last time will happen again? You think so? It will not happen again. If you are popular, come and run. Luckily for me, I'm the FCT minister now. So here is my territory. I'm not afraid. So people should come out and be able to accept the truth. We are not begging for anybody to be our friend. We have so many friends that we cannot even carry along. So how can we go and beg people to be our friends again? We're not interested in that. So if you're angry that people are praising us, wait. By next year, your BP level will go very high. Because the praises you will see will be too much. So I thank all of you for each time we invite you, you are here. And I thank all the area council chairmen who have given us support, irrespective of the political party you belong to. It's because you believe in the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And I want to appeal to the people of Mabuchi. This project is going to create jobs. You need to support the company so we can achieve it within the time frame that they have been given. You know, most contractors would like community problems so that the contract will drag along and then they will bring variation. Here.
Duty. That is the Honorable Minister. But I'm not calling any names because anybody who is minister is bound by those same laws and duties to abide by the Constitution, to respect all its ideals, institutions, and legitimate authorities inter alia. So the Just the same way that some Nigerians would have voted for the president and some would not have. But as soon as he's declared president, he becomes the president for everybody, and nobody can pick and choose who they would rather be president. And therefore, the same applies to all offices, regardless of party or any other position.
Madam, the man you are talking about, his name is Wike, former governor of Rivers State, and is now minister of the FCT. Now, he has responded to this issue that you have raised. He says you want him to be your friend, and that he doesn't want to be your friend. That is it by force, that you should leave him alone.
Please, what constitutes friendship between two people who've never met each other? I have never sat in the same room with the minister except in a Senate committee. So how does friendship arise? Why would I want to be the friend of somebody I do not know? The truth of the matter is that the minister refuses to speak or communicate in any way with the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory. So how are the wishes and the needs of the people to be communicated to him? Please tell me if you know a way.
Well, but he says he's minister and he's doing his job. He has commissioned some roads. He has renamed some roads. He has built, some projects in the place. He has appointed permanent secretaries, and he says he's concentrating on his work in Abuja, and he doesn't want blackmail. He says you are blackmailing him.
To do what? To regard the needs of the people. The minister may be a great minister in a ministry that has no people. But the unique situation of the FCT minister is that apart from infrastructure and roads, he also has to take into consideration the needs of the people in that territory. That's the difference between him and, say, the Minister of Works or any other ministry. The Minister of FCT is almost acting as the governor for the president. So it's not just being a regular minister. He says he commissioned roads. Yes, those roads were started by Mohammed Bello, and I commend him for finishing some of them. But also, just like the people took me on when those roads were commissioned, they said, Madam, you people are celebrating roads in Maitama, Asokoro, and Central Business District. The bulk of the people do not live there. Show me the projects where the people live. That's the difference. It's almost like a governor telling you that he built some roads, so he doesn't care what the needs of the people are. They have needs. So it's not good enough. The people are not impressed. I commend him because I see that some things are done. But at the end of the day, they don't have water. That fire that happened in Karu could have been prevented if there was water. But I don't know if you know Abuja. Any fire truck has to go all the way to Atokoro to get water, spray the fire, and then come back. Not to talk about the fact that there were no access roads into the market and a whole litany of issues. Who do you think is going to sort out those issues? The minister. But the people are going to tell the senator, not the minister. The same way, insecurity. The people scream, senator, senator, senator. Senator says, minister, sort out insecurity. Says he does not have to speak to me, so I spoke to him on channels. Just like a lot of the issues that I'm going to bring up today, he'll hear from our eyes.
Okay, Madam, do you think that your complaint is not just about Wike? You have also been quoted as saying that you are excluded from most of the key decisions affecting the Federal Capital Territory in the Senate. Do you think this is because you are from a minority party, Labour Party, or do you think it's because you are a woman? 4 of you, 4 women in the National Assembly.
It's not because I'm a woman. In all fairness to the Senate as a body, it's not very difficult to exclude the women, and they do not exclude us. We get involved in as many things as we like to. And most of the time, yes, your party matters a little bit, but not seriously. If you want me to be honest, this boils down to the fact that the Senate President is a personal friend of the Honorable Minister of the FCT. So when things that they think Senator Kingibe might object to are brought, I'm not sure. As I said, this is a topic I'd rather wait, since I plan on coming back to you in another week to discuss in details. I was planning to have a general discussion with you today, but I am on several committees. I'm not excluded from any of them. I'm aware of every little detail that goes on in every other committee. Why is this committee special? You would think it would be the reverse, because I'm the senator representing that place, as most other senators are called on when things affect their constituency. So it's something that needs to be sorted out privately in the Senate. And if it's not sorted out privately in the Senate, then we can discuss it publicly.
Okay, I get the point about the friendship between Akpabio and Wike. But there's also something about style and communication. If you as a senator from the Labour Party, if on the floor of the Senate you behave like this obedience on social media, that could create a problem. Because Wike has said, look, that you expect that he will report to you. And he as minister, he will not report to a senator.
No minister has ever reported to any senator. If you look back in fact, if you look back several years, most ministers and the senators don't even usually come from the same party. But they work in synergy. Synergy is the key word. Reporting to anybody does not arise. And our proceedings in the National Assembly are recorded. Being cantankerous or disorganized is not my style. In fact, I think I have been quieter than I normally am because I was studying the Senate and the dynamics of the place. So I doubt that it has to do with my style, but if it is, you can look at the Senate proceedings and advise me because they're all recorded.
Okay, but I mean, you say key decisions affecting the FCT. What are your own priorities that you think have not been addressed in the best interest of the people of the Federal Capital Territory?
Actually, some of my interests are not specific to the Senate, but they are specific to the person administering the honorable minister. But just like any state assembly, when a governor is not taking care of the rights and the needs of the people, the state assembly draws his attention to it and makes him do it. For one thing, Abuja, there's no water. And let me even take the last budget that was passed, the supplementary budget.
98.5 billion?
Yes.
Supplementary budget?
Yes, let's not even go into the big one. Let's just deal with that little one. In that budget of 98, only 18 billion has anything to do with the people. 20 billion for renovating 20 schools. Now, everything else, we're building a road to EFCC or another one to DSS and all those things. Please, with all due respect, those roads may need renovating. Maybe the road to the presidential wing all need work. I am saying that for an impoverished nation, for a territory where insecurity is so high, a few days ago, I live in Maitama, my guard, just walking down the street, was hacked. This is in Maitama. Just shows you the level of insecurity. We have so many issues and we don't have the funds to do them. So in the bid to prioritize, I think that the needs of the people, that is the majority of the people, healthcare, education, security, and water as basic as water, we do not have. So I'm not saying that those things, we can do them when we are more liquid, but we are not. Those are my issues. So for another thing, okay, some of these things, maybe the local government, like the markets I'm complaining about, the local government needs to take care of it, but in previous, the honorable minister's predecessors, he would join hands with the National Assembly and tell the local government chairman, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. So him alone against the rest of us, he will do them. But when everybody is working in silos, the people of my constituency suffer. That's the truth.
Okay, madam, I asked you the question that, is it a problem that you are from the Labour Party? Because before you became the representative of the people of the FCT, there was Philip Aduda there. I know him.
Yes.
He was there when I was in government.
Yeah.
Now, Philip Aduda seems to be having a good relationship with Wike.
Philip Aduda is not the current sitting senator, so he doesn't have to look out for the interests of the people. When there was a fire, they did not call Philip Aduda in spite of the fact that it was his ward. They called me. So if Aduda has a good relationship with Wike, that is fine. It does not help the people of the Federal Capital Territory. I have to draw your attention to the fact that the last minister was APC. Philip Aduda was PDP. At the time, I was APC. And the minister worked well with Aduda. And we said to him, Minister, what's your problem? He said, no, madam, not just me, all of us in APC. That's sorry. For this place to work well, the senator has to work with the minister has to work with the senator. So it doesn't matter that he's not in our party. He's the senator representing this territory. And we accepted it as good enough reason because he was. So being in different parties, this is not the first time it's happening. It's happened with several senators in FCT because FCT have their own unique way of voting.
Okay, madam. You know Wike likes to talk. So I'm sure you will watch this interview, it will come out.
And I
hope that the real matter is not about his friendship with the APC. He himself is from the PDP. I hope this is not about land allocation. And you are a civil engineer. I hope this is not about contracts. Because civil engineers, we know, they do contracts. I hope Wike will not come and say, Madam wants land. Madam wants engineering contracts.
I will interrupt you here.
Okay.
I have been in FCT politics for the last 20 years. You can go and verify. There is no minister who will come to you. I live in a house that I have lived in. I have owned the land since 1991. If you find any other federal allocation of land for me in the FCT, come and call me out on it. I'm a firm believer that if everybody took their 1 or 2 pieces of land, there would be enough for everybody. I'm not interested in land. When the last minister was there, I was very instrumental. I worked with him in the beginning as the APC leader. When contracts were being given out, he asked, he's there, you can verify with him, where is Madam's own? He spoke to me. I said, oh, sorry, Honorable Minister, I'm not a contractor, and that's the truth. I am not. I am not a contractor. I'm a professional. And if I wanted land, I have lived in the FCT since when FCT was just all forest and bush, when there were only 2 houses on Usuma Street. There's no, it goes without saying that I could have acquired a lot more land. So whenever Honorable Minister Wike comes and talks, you should verify. I want to be his friend. He should show you the indicators of friendship with somebody you've never spoken to one-on-one. I've only spoken to him across a long table in a committee meeting. So how does friendship come into our relationship?
Okay, you've been quoted as saying that bad governance brought you into the senatorial race to make a difference. Now, you tried first time, it didn't work. Second time, it worked. Do you think that there is good governance in Nigeria now, especially in the month of June, where we are celebrating 1 year of the Tinubu administration?
Well, absolutely not.
You think the Tinubu administration is not doing well?
Excuse me. No, it isn't. I have the utmost goodwill and respect for the president, and I know there's no doubt that he probably wanted to be president so he could make a difference. But as things are right now, it does not augur well for his legacy. A president is only as good as his team. Any leader is only as good as their team. Even little me, I'm constantly tweaking the people who work with me to get the maximum efficiency. So a team, no, I'm sorry, it is not. The people are suffering. I feel that there are several things that can be done. A Marshall Plan that can alleviate things for the moment. And I don't see it being done. All of it is not his fault. It was a build-up to this point. But I also don't see a credible Marshall Plan to solve the problems that we are now in. I only see it getting worse.
Well, an ordinary person listening to you will say, well, you are a member of the Labour Party, that this is typical obedient talk.
Well, let's put it this way. I turned 70 early this week, and I would think that my mindset would be a little bit different.
70?
Yes,
Wow.
would be a little different from the average obedient, who are all young people. But that being said, we cannot look away from the fact that at least 70% of our population is under 40. So when decisions are being taken, you have to consider the fact that this is how young people feel. This is how they think. It can't be about the lots of things that my children do that I don't quite understand, and I wouldn't do it that way. It doesn't change the fact that this is their time. And therefore, we need to listen to them. So the fact that I'm Labour, I'm Labour, yes, because I think things need to change, and I've been in PDP, I've been in APC, I'm an idealist. I'm thinking that, okay, maybe there's somewhere where we can all go and change this country and make it the country we can be proud of. But notwithstanding, even when I was in APC, I still had the same beliefs that we can still do better. You all know I was an ardent Buharist. There was nothing I did not do, because you also remember from my times on Arise that I believed that Buhari was going to change this country. So I did everything, my strength, my money, everything, to ensure that he got, the time they called me in, he didn't think he would get 25% in the FCT. He got 48% because we all mobilized for him. But he didn't also do anything. And things are only getting progressively worse. We are fast getting to where I fear that we're pushing the people to the wall, because now they're hungry. People can absorb everything. As a nation, we're resilient, we're complacent, we're able to take things in our stride, but I don't think we can take hunger in our stride. And that being said, certain things need to be done urgently, nationally.
Okay, madam, as we begin to wrap up, let me ask you about women in politics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talk about women representation in politics. I think in the Senate now, we have just about 4 women.
Yes.
And then generally, we don't even have up to 5% if you take the entire National Assembly. And yet we have very well-educated women, public-spirited women like your good self. Mm-hmm. And yet they can't get into decision-making positions, except they are made coordinator of women affairs in the parties, or they are made minister of women affairs. What can we do ahead of 2027 to correct this situation?
I believe that Nigeria needs legislation for
affirmative action.
Yes, for women inclusion. I know it works because in the parties, let me give you an example. When they ask for 3 delegates from each ward, they will just all come and bring male delegates. Immediately, the party said 3 delegates from each ward, but 1 must be a woman. They all started to bring the women. So I'm not trying to say that we're always law-abiding, but it would help if it was the law, number 1. Then it meant that then the onus will be on parties, governments, agencies, whatever, to look for competent women. Do you understand? And they are there. And I also, as I've said several times, if you look at countries that have more women in governance, they have shown that there's a direct correlation between economic development and women in governance and policy and decision-making processes.
Okay, one final question, based on what you just said. Look, I've heard this said again and again, that women do not support women in Nigeria. Every election day, it's mostly women who turn out to vote. But women folk will not support their own kind. They will go and support the men.
Well, that has not been my
what is being done to mobilize women to say, look, you guys are about 50% of the population. Why don't you use your voter power to put your own kind in government?
Okay, I will tell you. The truth is that maybe that was so in the past, but the awareness and the thinking of women has changed somewhat. I know that I got a lot of support from women across board, across parties, across everything, number one. Number two, myself and some other women are working on creating a database of women all across the country so we can use women voters as a lobby block. Because it's not enough to say, do something. You have to show me that, okay, if I don't do it, what will you do? Do you understand? And that would help. And the second thing, why women are not voting for women? How many women do you see on the ballot? That is also a problem. Even as proactive as I expected Labour Party to be, out of 109 tickets, maybe only 2 or 3 were female. So, and that is across board. So unless women are on the ballot, you can't say that they're not being voted for.
Well, on that note, Senator Ireti Kingibe, I would like to say congratulations on your 70th birthday.
Thank you.
And it's good to have you back at this table. You've been here for more than 7 years.
Yes, I have.
And I hope that you will find time and time again, to come back to this Day Live.
I assure you I will be a regular in future.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Ruben.